I'd like to have Mr. Lewis and then Mr. DeBoer comment on their proposals, whether the concerns raised are legitimate but perhaps overblown, and provide us with your thoughts on administrative issues associated with your proposals.
A couple of maybe bigger picture points first, if I may, Mr. Chairman. Senator Stabenow talked about how we can help Americans and American businesses. I think the first thing to keep in mind is not to do any harm to them. And some of the proposals, particularly on the revenue offset side, dramatically impact domestically based capital-intensive industries that are conducted in pass-through format. And that's why we're so interested in this pass-through rate. I understand Senator McCaskill on the income to the top 1%. I'd like to look at that data. I think that may include compensation for services to the entity, which we are very, very interested, as Mr. Lewis is, in making sure that that income does not come down and be taxed at a new lower rate. We have done a significant amount of work here to try and look at the relationship between partners in a pass-through entity and how much service is provided to the entity itself. And our proposal at first blush is a little bit complicated. We're starting to reach out to staff and flesh it out. And I guess for purposes of this hearing, I simply want to repeat what I said earlier in my opening statement. We are pledged to work with the committee, Senator Wyden, Senator McCaskill, and others, to make sure that true compensation to the entity does not, there's no gamesmanship and comes down. But the fact of the matter is these pass-through entities do earn income, and that income the income, whether it's from rents in the real estate business or development fees or what have you, and that income should be taxed lower if, in fact, corporate taxes are going to come down. And one other item that I would say, these pass-through entities are the vehicle of choice for startup businesses. They're the vehicle of choice for minority-owned businesses. And this is how most Americans who are interested in using their business acumen to develop jobs and expand our economy, this is the format that they do. So encouraging activity in this area is very much commendable, and thank you for looking at this. It's a complicated issue, but one that I have no doubt you and your staff can tackle.
Well, thanks to all four of you. I think this has been a really interesting hearing. And I want to thank you all for your attendance and for your contributions here today. As I noted last week, this committee's approach to tax reform will be methodical and inclusive. That is why hearings like the one we have just had today will be critically important as we continue to evaluate the tax code and continue with marking up a bill that will enact meaningful, durable, and efficient reforms. My strong preference is that our evaluations, determinations, and the final language of any bill we come up with will be bipartisan, and I intend to work towards that end. That means we have a lot of work to do, but I'm optimistic that we can get it done.